there. Today I'm revisiting this old track, which I never finished. I've got about 30 tracks I haven't finished. I'm sure you can relate. It's a very pretty song, and I really would like to get it finished. So I'm just going to have a listen through today and do a bit of housework. But let's just have a listen first. Not sure what's about to happen. Okay. So I think this is probably where I left it. Pretty basic loop. Pretty cool. Pretty happy with the whole theme though. So my current process for loading up old tracks that I've pretty much forgotten the layout of, because you know when you're working on a track for ages and ages, and you kind of get to know where everything is and how everything kind of vibes together, and then you lose it, and then when you open it up again, it's really demotivating or unmotivating. It's almost like I relate it to if you've ever played Minecraft, and you build your massive world, and then you log back in and you forgot where everything is. So what I like to do is just do a housekeeping session where I just tidy everything up, and it just kind of gets me back to speed. Now there may be a better way, or maybe you have a system yourself that you find works. I'd genuinely be really interested to hear through the whole comments thing on the video if you have a tip for getting back into an old finished track. But yeah, as far as the track goes, I really like the intro. This was originally a track I wrote for an intro for a set at Azora Festival where I was doing a AV thing with Andy Thomas. So we originally had some of his nice bird sounds, and he was doing some real cool trippy visuals, and that was kind of the last of it. So yeah, I'd like to get it finished. So let's go ahead and do some housekeeping. Where to start? Okay, first up, let's delete any empty track. So let's have a look here. This is the percussion. Everything's looking relatively straightforward. I can't see any empty tracks. We've got this signature sound at the start. I'm not sure what this is about. I think I was trying to introduce some kind of audio signature anyway. Let's group all of the kicks together. So let's do that first. So this is a synth drop kick up. So this is where all of our drums are. So what I'm going to do is we'll get the kick out of here. Put this over here. I know this isn't the most riveting content, but this is what I do on my daily grind. Kick, drop. And we're going to put those two at the front. I always like to start with the kicks at the top because it's usually what I reference the most, and I use it a lot for kind of seeing where the progression is in the track. If I get a bit lost, I just zoom out and have a look at what the kicks are doing. And I usually have the sub. And there should be another sub here. Bass and bass. I imagine that these are subs. We'll go up and have a listen. The slow dragging thing is slightly annoying. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong. I've never kind of fixed this habit here. So I usually end up rage tabbing into session view because it's a lot easier. So is this sub? Yeah, so we'll go sub intro. And this looks like the sub for the rest of the track. Or the bass loop. Sub chill. I'm going to call the kind of halftime section the chill section. And then let's just get all the other basses up here. Below this one. Where's some other bass ones? There's a bass. So I just go into session view and drag it over like this. Synth, 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 upright bass. What am I using here? I'm using an Ableton upright bass preset. So straight away I know I'm going to have to tweak that a bit as well. That's probably a good starting point. So once I've done a little bit of housekeeping, we'll roll with that. Fills, snares, wails. What are these? These are currently... Okay, that's cool. Water splash, hats. So that's on it. We've got bass drop, so let's get that across as well. So we'll put that here. So I believe that should be all of our basses. So what I'll do is I will group the subs together. That was the wrong thing to do. What did I do there? Return track. So let's group these up. Call this subs. Close you down. We have our basses. So we'll group those together. We'll call this bass. The kicks, I'm not going to group. I like having them both out in the open like that. Okay, let's work on the percussion. I think the easiest way to do this would be to take these tracks, which are synths. So if you don't know, I try to group everything into 6 categories: kicks, bass, or sub-bass and bass, percussion, synths, tech, which is usually glitchy sounds and things like that, and other. Okay, actually it's probably a lot easier if we close all these down. Let's get the hats up into that percussion track. So this is intro perk, so I should create a master percussion. Intro perk, so we'll group these together. This can be our master percussion track. Perk. Water, so that's kind of an effect. So let's get these hats into the perk. Still haven't fixed my chair. Okay, what else we got? Pads, pads, pads. Whales, build, insects. Okay, so that looks like all of the percussion stuff sorted. What's this here? This is a bass too, is it? I would say that's a synth. So let's just drag this down underneath the percussion. And let's go ahead and group all of these. Call this synths. Synths can be sampled stuff too. Basically anything that's kind of instrumental. Pads, leads, keys. And then we have downlife and builds and insects. So these would definitely be other. So that's other. Let's close that down. The signature sound, I don't know. We'll just call this intro lead, and we'll put that into the synths. Like so. So there we go. So we've got our kicks here, subs, bass. What's the water? That's a other and other and other. There we go. So that's all nice and neat now. Let's just change the colors. Ah, nah, fuck it. The colors are fine. Cool. And in the next session, I'm going to start getting into changing some of the sounds up and yeah, seeing what we're going to do. We need a bit of progression. Like this area is pretty cool. Just needs some more elements. This area obviously needs to be evolved.